really well. So now NRP Flash are caught in a corner asking themselves, so what do we do next? So let's get into the drafting phase, ladies and gentlemen, of game number 2. We do see Falcons AP Bren here already banning out that Hayabusa and the Minotaur, and the Chip and Julian is also closed for the taking.
Okay, interesting ban for Falcons AP Bren with the Minotaur. Oh, okay. So since they're now on the blue side, I remember they were on the red side. So they have high respect on the corral control for NAP Flash, probably because they know NAP Flash to be focused on heavy team fights, right? Setting up a play for Owl, having that 4-1 4 protect 1 strategy. Now for NAP Flash, they're focusing on limiting the potential for Kyle Tease's hero, but I think it is too much of them focusing on Kyle Tease's hero when in fact they could also focus on what could be the hero that we ban for Ogwen, because the boss fights or the tanks has already been banned.
Yeah, I think the pulse 5s are going to be by far the most important picks here for both Falcons AP Brand as well as NIP Flash. As expected, the Zosk is going to get first picked by the side of Falcons AP Brand. They could have gone for the Moskov here, but they will let that question be answered by NIP Flash. I would imagine that, you know, Edith Moskov wouldn't be too bad in these types of positions, but then now that Zosk is in the mix, it gets difficult, right? You need somebody who is able to absorb that slow, absorb that nightmaric spawn, so that the rest of your team can actually have a good time and move past the anchor.
The problem is now the Zask is like a good hindrance of saying, hey, you want to pick up the Jushin? I dare you.
Yeah.
Do it.
I dare you.
Try.
Do it. Replicate our performance earlier. So now for NP Flash, they picked a hero that could dive into that Nightmaric spawn with Arlott, but it's gonna be dangerous. They need another hero that could speed up things, right, for NP Flash, because if you dive into that Nightmaric spawn, it would be hard for you because there are slows. So something that could burst down that spawn as early as possible, but Falcons AP Bren, okay, we protect the spawn. You have the Arlott, but we have the Kufra and even the Roger.
Yeah, no, I think that these hard engage type supports are going to be really great, especially when you're playing with the Zask, because while the team is going and trying to follow up on that engage, all Zask has to do is kind of set up shop behind the engagement, right? To kind of say, here is where we are going to fight. As soon as I drop that Nightmaric spawn, this is where everybody wants to be. That's their kill zone, as some may call it. But then it comes over to NIP Flash. They see this, they see the Roger, they see the Kufra. All right, what other answers do we have? Because right now, we are putting Arlott at risk. If he goes too far forward, yes, technically the Vengeance can go through the bouncing ball, but at the same time, there's not much answers to this Nightmaric spawn until we do see the Zushin show up.
This is interesting, right? Because the reason, I guess, okay, obviously the Nightmaric spawn and so on and so forth has been really valuable in these particular trades, but that range deficiency of the Jushin as compared to the Zask is, in my opinion, one of the reasons why the Zask is the counter towards the Jushin, right? And the fact that they're so confident as to still pick this up is actually quite interesting to me.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think that at this point, NIP Flash need to figure out how exactly are we going to take control over the mid lane, right? Because you've got the Zask, who's like, not exactly the greatest at clearing the waves, but then you have the Kufra, who's most likely going to take the Concussive Blast to kind of speed that process up. So the real question now is whether this Arlott is actually going to have a good matchup towards the EXP side, or do they have to sacrifice the mid trio?
But remember, we have two heroes on the board right now that are still flex. Roger flex, Arlott flex.
All right. But what we say about range, isn't it gonna be difficult for the Shujin to keep that speed with the Arlott?
That's what I'm trying to figure out right now. Because NIP Flash, as much as you want to depend on the Arlott to kind of set it up for you, I think they need a secondary spearhead, right? They need somebody else who's able to kind of like generate or poke the bull a little bit, right? Get them aggravated just so that they come at you rather than you having to go to them.
So probably for Falcons AP Bren, that's why they ban out heroes like Alpha, something that could be up front. Or maybe they can still... Is it a nice thing for NP Flash if they pick again the Martis? I think it's not a good option for them. It would
Yeah.
be a very expensive or a very hard to execute type of lineup.
I think I agree with that. I totally agree with that. But based off of the bans that we're seeing right now from NIP Flash, I'm pretty sure that this Arlet is going to go into the EXP line. And Falcon's AP Bred, really smart of them, right? Get rid of the Alpha, a quote-unquote literal spearhead for NIP Flash if they wanted to pick it up. Already gone, but they also got rid of the Grok to make sure that they maintain control over that mid lane as a duo.
I was thinking of something. I was thinking or looking for a hero that could be in front of NIP Flash. Probably a Tigreal?
Tigreal's not too bad, but his wave clear isn't exactly the most helpful.
And it's very difficult to find the Zask in the middle. It's as if you're soaking all the damage. Why am I countering the things that I'm trying to bring up?
It's okay.
You're thinking of all the different possible angles. It's just the struggles of being a color, you know, the atypical stuff. But I think that Edith is just a little bit better because now you have a guaranteed way of, hey, we can definitely clear this lane way faster, but also very effective against trading against someone like Kufra.
So you're assuming that Edith is going in the roam.
Yes.
All right, let's work on that. I mean, that's why it was such a brilliant ban, right? Grok. Because we're talking about wave clear. Again, I don't think Jushin is a good wave clear either. So Zask and Jushin, they're literally a lane that's trading in blows and utility as much as possible. Not too much focusing on the clear. So that's why I was thinking maybe in true NIP Flash fashion, they would choose something like the Cho.
Yeah.
But obviously, I don't really like the Cho in this meta. So Edith is a good pick for them right now. But for Falca's AP brand, they're now going to be forced to close this out with the Nolan as well as a Terizla. So the Roger was flexed back into the gold lane, and now they have a good setup hero on top of the Kufra with the Terizla as well.
Really great stuff coming in from Falcon's
Yeah.
AP brand because they see the importance of having priority in your lanes. If you clear that wave fast, you maximize your HP, you don't trade too often, you as a team macro-wise are able to get to a critical point of the map faster than your opponents, turning the advantage from a 3v3 to a 4v3 and even a 5v3.
Yeah, and even for Falcons AP Brand, they've been playing this way from the previous matches that they had, wherein it's actually Flap TZ setting up the play and have Ogwin to do the follow-up layer of crowd control for the team.
So now let's see. Okay, all right.
Oh.
Okay, I enjoy the Bane. Shout out to a friend of mine. He's a Bane connoisseur.
Yeah, oh, he's a
His
Bane
name is
connoisseur.
Leo.
Oh,
He
I
likes to
was-
say
yeah.
Mabuhay a lot.
Yeah.
Yep, at your service, the atypical stuff. I think, I think this is a really interesting solution that NIP Flash has in their back pocket because now, if you have that Bane, if you have the Bane in the right position, you can at the very least say, oh, Terizla jumps at us, Kufra jumps at us. No, pops your ult, disengage completely.
That's really true. And I think for Falcons AP Brand, they need something to have this Bane zoned out. But it's going to be up front here for NIP Flash. Probably focus more on the Moskov and have him the pace that he needs.
So there it is, ladies and gentlemen. The composition for both of these teams have been set in stone. Remember, we are at match point. If NIP Flash don't force a game number 3, they will have to say goodbye to their tournament lives. And with that, let's welcome the Land of Dawn.
It's Falcons AP Bren on the blue side up against NIP Flash on the red. Let's see whether this is going to go a little bit better for NIP Flash because once again, this is tournament lives.
Yeah, you know, for NP Flash, they need to capitalize on having Hades a faster rotation on taking that jungle against Kyle TZ. This has been a problem if we're up against Kyle TZ. He jungles really fast because of the vision also that Ogwin gives for Falcon. Oh, wow.
Oh, no, he's dead. That's first blood achieved instantly by Super Marco. A great trade converted into a kill.
This answers the argument whether Roger is the strongest marksman at level 1 because he has a lot of kit to actually counter out any gold laner in front of him, not unless that gold laner is on top or upper hand in terms of the range. So that's a nice judgment here for Super Marco. Very, very crucial for Al.
I mean, the beauty of the Roger is that he punishes lazy gold laners. So, like, if any gold laner decides to just throw out their cooldowns early on at level 1, it's a guaranteed trade for Roger to just walk up, auto attack, maybe get the skill 1 down, and then transform, and then Lycan pounce to guarantee them to sit underneath their turret, right? So now that we have First Blood coming in for Falcon's AP Bren, this is quite a significant lead for Super Marco, right? He has full control over his lane, and even Owl is calling over Edith to ensure that they get past this laning phase.
This is going to be hard for them because for NMP Flash, as much as possible, you want to be JPL to be part of the turtle team fight. But because of the lead of Super Marco, there might be a chance wherein NMP Flash will be forced to rotate on that lane. And again, Adamir will be the one who is the collateral damage here for NMP Flash. So looking at the emblems, you all know that for Falcon's AP Brand, they're really more on the faster pacing of the game, more on a damage-centric type of lineup. So this is where the game would probably change in terms of tempo.
Yep, here we go. As we see that Ogwen gets right on top of Adamir, followed up by the Nightmaric Spawn. They burst it down really, really quick. Hades, same level, final slash onto into the penalty zone. Oh, the fraction hits all three, and the disengage did not work. It did not come from the right direction as Cortese and Adamir are on the run. Ogwen says, nah, I'll fish for one more. That's a triple kill from Kyle. You know what? Instead of a triple, make it a quad. No! He manages to get away. Owl hops away just in time. Oh man, this is not looking good for NIP.
Yeah, definitely for Falco Saber Brand. It was as if I saw an alley play from Flap TZ to Kyle TZ. It was so on point that even NIP Flash, they didn't know that Kyle TZ was in that part of the bush. It's very crucial for an XP lane, specifically for Adamir, to walk in that area so that they have this intel that, hey, Kyle TZ is here. Just like from the usual instances wherein you are taking objectives. So yeah, for NP Flash, they have to know first where the other junglers are. And this is where we say that Kyle TZ is really rotating fast for Falcon's AP Brand.
Here we go, a dive attempt coming in from Ogwen's side just to make sure that they get JPL. They're so close. Primal Wrath comes out just in time, and Super Marco's in trouble. Flickers forward, and the SOD finds the kill. Good play coming out for NIP side. The caught Falcon's AP Brand slacking as across the map we see that Hades and Adamir trying to regain some form of an advantage.
For Falcon's AP Brand, it was a miscommunication or probably a miscalculation for them. The bottom lane didn't know that there was still an ultimate there for JPL, but still!
At the end of it, Owl still ends up dying, and Kyle's like, nah, we're not going to give you any advantages. We're going to allow Super Marco to do his thing. Keep dominating, my boy.
We have to give space continuously here for Super Marco, as Falcon's AP Brand says against Owl. And they know the threat here of having a Moskov up until the mid to late game as much as possible, limit that potential. And what's really nice here for Falcon's AP Brand, because if we look at the goal, it's actually Kyle TZ on the lead in terms of the farming or goal, for gold here against the NP Flash. So probably the 1,900 gold lead for Falcon's AP Brand is leaning towards those damagers of the team.
Yep, and it's doing really, really nicely, right? Especially since they are the main damage dealers. Adamir actually trading very effectively against Flap so far, really getting these resets off, making sure that Flap TZ barely touches him. That's the ult coming in from Kyle TZ, as NIP Flash understand that they are behind, but they've got to take some control. You see that JPL does walk up into the Nightmaric spot, and Ogren as well, forced to jump backwards, but it doesn't really matter who gets this turtle. It's not who finds the kill! And Adamir captures Flap TZ, predicting the flicker.
That is the cross-map play that we are looking forward for NP Flash, which is actually a good thing. So for Falcon's AP Brand, they took the turtle and continue for team fight.
Yep, and the Primal Wrath just gonna absolutely get shredded down. Kyle has a lot of damage, but it doesn't help that fused Nightmaric spawn made sure that he didn't exactly have a clean line of sight against their aggressors. With that being said, a lane swap has commenced for NIP Flash, but Owl, he might be in trouble. He hopped over the wall, but Kyle's like, hopping over walls, that's my thing.
Where are you going, Al? says Kaltini. So, okay, another team battle bottom lane. It might be a kill for
Oh
Falcons
no!
and Bren.
Oh, Curtizi still is able to find the kill. I'm pretty sure Adamir wanted to go for more. He got the green light from Kurt to say this kill is done for. But now the rest of the team is looking to reinforce the bottom side of the map with 75 seconds left for the next neutral objective to spawn. Where's the next move we can expect to see from NIP Flash?
Yeah, what's also interesting is that for NP Flash, they're able to take down turrets as compared to Falcons AP Bren. Now, looking at the itemization for JPL, he focused on building something that could be on the physical defense and also can do magic defense against Falcons AP Bren. But for the gold laners, there is a 900 or 1,000 lead for Super Marco, which is very crucial because he now has the Windtalker more on the movement speed. Now for Al, it is the corrosion side. Also has the movement speed. It's all up to the other players now for Falcons, AP Bren, and even for NFP Flash, whether, when, and where they want to set up a play. Because for the Moscow, as much as possible, you want it to be in a place where it's very tight.
Oh, I mean, this may not be the tightest of spots, but Flapteasy setting it up really nicely for Kyle. It looks like Falcons AP Bren are just supercharging their cores at this point of time because they know they have such a big lead. Why not double it? 2x it.
Yeah, someone has to stop this cross-map play that NFP Flash has been doing because it is very effective now against Falcons AP Bren. It's as if NFP Flash is the one dictating the rotation against Falcons AP Bren. But we have another turtle here. I think Kaltisi will secure this one.
No problems whatsoever. Super Marco coming back to the lane. He doesn't want to lose this tier 2 without putting up a fight. But JPL is now caught by himself. He might be the sacrificial lamb to allow Owl to get on out of here. But Owen, he spots it, catches out anyway. Penalty zone even being committed. But they only find JPL. Kyle is going to cover the mid lane, but this forced the motion out of NIP Flash.
And even the Purify of Owl has been used. The good thing he has the Purify, because if not, it's going to be crucial here for NP Flash. And because of the continuous play that Falcons AP Bren has been doing, they now destroy the third up top. And even at the bottom lane, even Kaltisi is all over the place in the jungle area of Hades. Now, the question here now for NP Flash, how will they capitalize on this ultimate that Hades has? Because so far, because of the single targeting or focusing on specific lanes that Falcons AP Bren has been doing, there's no heavy team fight for NFP Flash. And that is where the hero of Hades is really needed.
I think it's just a battle of efficiency, right? Like Falcons AP Bren, the more abilities that they hit, even if it's on a single target, it's honestly not that bad. Owen, he senses something is wrong with the force here.
I think he can smell the players of NFP Flash.
I mean, he's JPL. He could go for more, but they're going to start walking up. And now they know that Curtizi, Adamir, and JPL are the ones who've been hiding in that bush. Great game sense from FCAP.
Yeah, for NFP Flash, it's also good that they're not really committing or overextending in the area where in Falcons AP Bren can set up a play against them.
Oh, nicely played by Kyle! He literally said to Adamir, "Not today, kid." That's just behind him. Final Slash doesn't connect and kills him immediately after. Now they're trying to disengage from that mid lane, but FCAP say, no, you don't have enough damage to clear our wave, so we're going to try and take everything away from you. We don't get the tier 1, but we will try and instigate war in your jungle.
Speaking of clearing of... Oh, wait.
JBL gets pushed backwards into it. Jushin is trying to zone off the rest of the members of FCAP. Does find Owen, pulls him back, forces him to flicker off here. And even Hades committing to his ultimate as well. Really doesn't get much done, but at the cost of a single flicker, not that bad for FCAP.
You know what, for NFP Flash, what's really sad is also for Hades, the ultimate is being used just to clear the minion wave and not used for maybe damage for them. Oh wait, Adamir.
Yeah, he's gone. He's a goner here, especially with the Executioner Strike still applied to him. There's no reason for NIP Flash to even walk up because they're so alt-dependent.
Yeah, that's really nice that you've pointed that out, because for NFP Flash, it's as if they're waiting for a skill to hit before dealing damage or before setting up a play against Falcons AP Bren.
Oh, once again, it's going to be JPL who is on the chopping block. Hades does get the trade on towards Orgwin's side, and even Flappy gets pulled underneath the turret, forced to flicker on out of there. This is just the power of Jushin, but man, look at that lead.
Yeah, that's a very huge lead here for Falcons AP Bren. And did you see that? We're in Owen did oh! I was about to explain something with Kalti. Oh wait, stop the explanation first. I'll see you the damage. But yeah, continuing to what I'm saying is that have you seen that part when Owen jumped and then it was almost simultaneously with the penalty zone of Flap TZ? They're just ready to dive whenever there is a player from NAP Flash, and that's the reason as to why NAP Flash is almost always out-positioned for every time that they want to counter the play of Falcons AP Bren.
I mean, when you have a jungler who's 8-0-3, I'll die for it. I'll
Yeah.
die. You tell me to go, you tell me to jump, I'll say how high, right? No questions asked. I will throw my life on the line if you have that big of a lead. Because look at this. Every outer turret is getting taken away. If they get an inhibitor here, they might set up for a checkmate angle, and JPL is just trying to make sure he protect the barrier. But at this point, it's a little too late. They've managed to hold on to their inhibitors, and FCAP is like, all right, we're just biding our time.
Yeah.
8K lead, just 2 more K, and you guys are going to be in a pickle.
Yeah, probably for Falcons AP Bren, just continue this or this maintain this lead as much as possible against NP Flash. But the thing is that for NP Flash, since they have the Moskov in their lineup, there's a high chance for them for a comeback as long as there's not going to be a casualty on another team fight.
Oh, the final slap pushes Ogwin out of position, quickly flickers over the wall to save his life.
That was close.
Very, very close. Definitely clipped his ear there as JP. Oh, SOD actually lands it. Owl actually takes it to try and chase down Kyle TZ. JPL very, very low. But now, FCAP, they're just playing with it. Penalty zone lands onto 3. That's what we were looking for. Adamir finds Few, but Flap finds Hades, and even the final slashes. Adamir cannot do more than that. Oh, flickers forward! Super Marco wants it! Oh, he gets knocked backwards. But luckily, FCAP, great synergy, takes turret aggro away.
What a nice juggle here for Falcons AP Bren. They know that some of the players or their teammates are already low on life, but there is someone who takes that position instead so that they can still continue the team fight. And I think during that time when Ogwin was saved, all his teammates said, phew, that time, because that was close. That was a close kill against Ogwen. And for NP Flash, we could see the potential for Owl's damage. But again, we could see on that instant replay that it's going to be hard for them to sustain all the damages all at once from Falcons AP Bren. And look at that ultimate and even flicker from Few. He just saved himself and have taken that attention from Adabir.
Oh wait, we're in the middle of another fight as the Lord is being contested by NIP Flash. They already lost their EXP laner in Adamir. They're forced all the way back, and that's when FCAP is like, all right, try it again. I dare you. Walk out of your base one more time, and we will end this.
And even Owen was there just in case there will be players from NP Flash. And look at the space again for Super Marco from Falcons AP Bren. So they're just continuing this pattern. I mean, for NP Flash, they will be up against a Lord again. It will be hard in terms of the clearing of minion wave. There's no really burst from the lineup. It's continuous damage from Curtizi. You don't want to use that ultimate of the Bane just to clear the minion wave, right? Probably more on the counter engage. So for Falcons AP Bren, they have a high chance to end this game as long as they destroy the turret up top.
Okay, maybe there's some outplayability. I'm looking at the items. Trinity is already complete, as well as the Wind of Nature. Now with the Lord coming down through that mid lane, it's going to be a full front battle. Ogwin charging up, does get on towards JPL's side. The Earth Shadow knocks him up, but Ogwin is still alive. He can do this one more time as they're looking for an angle. Whoa! Owl takes the SOD, forces out the Wind of Nature onto Kyle to try and trade him out here. But the Lord is already on that crystal. Flap may be going down, but that's Tournament Live is going to be taken away as while everybody is falling, that crystal break is broken wide open. That's FCAP taking this game 2-0 against NIP Flash.
What a clean move again from Falcons AP Bren.